Hello everyone, this is another one of my character highlight videos for Christopher Mercano, which is the lead for Story 4 / Chapter 4, the last story in my book Wolvon, which is currently available on Amazon.com in both ebook and paperback formats. Of course, the ebook comes with a free preview. It's also currently available on Kindle Unlimited, which it may not be available on Kindle Unlimited for much longer, so if you want to check it out there, you're going to have to, get in on that, because I think by the end of this month, June, I think that's when it ends. I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to put it back on there, because I don't know if it's really doing me any favors, to be honest with you. So I might not put it back there. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, so it comes with a free preview and all that. Links will be in the description for it. Of course, Chris is on the cover of the book. He's the individual on the right. And he's pretty much on the same side as the black-maned werewolf / Wolvon, which is him. That's what he officially looks like. And pretty much, let's get into this. Oh yeah, also before I get started, I always mention this all the time, but I'll be pretending as if every character will survive to the end of the story, even though that is not a guarantee that they will. I'm simply protecting you from spoilers, and I don't want to reveal too much about the outcomes of what happens to them. So 50-50 chance if this or other characters I spoke of will make it to the end. But I'm going to act like, for the sake of the video, that they are. Okay, Christopher is in his 20s, I'd say about 24, 25 roughly. He's Puerto Rican, of course. Fairly built frame, stuff like that. Height-wise, I'd say about maybe like 5'8", 5'9"-ish, roughly. Not too tall, not too short, basically, is the way I was trying to make him. Chris, when he was a kid, his father was a boxer who was a Golden Gloves champion and who had basically won his first pro match. And everything was going well for them, and everything was going great. And all of a sudden, tragedy strikes, and his wife, Chris's mother, is run over by a car. And the assailant, just as per usual, keeps driving. His father, who had saw the plate on the way out, memorized it, and after his wife died fully in a hospital, and she mostly died on impact, he basically pays someone to help him hunt down the man with the plates, and eventually finds him, goes to his home, and beats him to death, which he immediately soon gets arrested for murder. And due to that incident, Chris loses both of his parents, one from the accident, the other one from premeditated murder. So Chris's uncle, Jose, is the one who kind of picks up the slack, and later on becomes one of his coaches. He starts through high school and stuff like that, starts to get into amateur wrestling and other competitive things. Much like his father, he had a competitive streak of his own in fighting, and eventually leads him to try out mixed martial arts. And, he has some middling success here and there. In high school, he wasn't really good enough as a wrestler to get a college scholarship, which was the original goal. So he just missed it and decided to go into MMA as a different path for him. And his career was kind of shaky at best. And, he was just slowly recovering from a losing streak and whatever. He gets this big time offer to be an alternate for this other guy who's a star on the rise and all that stuff. And he has a fight with this guy, but he's super nervous and he doesn't think he can win, and leads him to do something rather dubious at the start of the story. I'm not going to elaborate too much of what he did, but basically he wins the fight because of this. And just like his father before him, he's like, he has a girlfriend, and he loves him very, very much, and is encouraging him to see his father and to talk to his father and all that stuff. And on the way out back from the arena, something happens, and now he's lost her. and before he knows it, he's wrapped up in this new crazy world, you know, eventually that's going to bring him face to face with the ultimate apex predator and potential suicide in the attempt, but he's determined to do what he needs to do. I think my starting inspiration for Chris was I just wanted someone to be able to fight the white mane on equal terms or close to equal terms by the end of the story. Like, I wanted someone who was trained, and although was new to being a Wolvon, that he had a chance to, potentially fight the white mane on equal ground, or give him like probably the best fight in the book. And that's the original thought process of what I was thinking about. So I just needed to do. Originally, I was going to make him like a pro wrestler, because I love pro wrestling more than MMA. I'm lukewarm on MMA, but I felt it would make more sense to keep him as a shoot fighter, and that would work better with the context of the story. And because if I had made him a wrestler, there'd be like aspects of the entertainment of entertainment and stuff like that has to be woven into the story to fit the theme. And that really wasn't the theme I was going for. I was going for the big match, the big fight, and I could still keep some of the the amateur wrestling stuff in because of the nature of MMA. So like, it enabled me to still have that moment I was looking for during the fight. That's mostly the motivation for him, to be that character and to be like the other, to be one of the main leads, and to kind of like have also a character who's walking into pack life and all this other stuff for the first time, and that's the path that I was thinking of putting him on, and all those kind of things, and to have a character like that, but mostly for that big fight. But also a tougher, trained, stronger character compared to the others, and to kind of have a different vibe to him than everybody else does. That's mostly what I was inspired to do when it came to making him. I feel like the things I'm going to explore with him is kind of this fork in the road, because I had like two different outcomes in my head of where I wanted to put him and where I wanted him to be, and one of those paths was kind of turning him into an antagonist, which is much different than what you would think he would go. And then the more I started kind of going over it, I felt more like I was leaning towards potentially him trying to find a new reason to live, and where they're fighting it the whole time, but slowly he's meeting more people, and he's becoming part of this group, and all these other things are happening, and he's finding out, whether he wants to admit it or not, that he's finding a new reason to live, potentially, which is one of the ideas I'm thinking of going with, and kind of interested to see where that would go. Sometimes when I think of something, it can change mid-story or mid-typing, where I don't feel like that certain things fit anymore. So the antagonist thing was kind of the first thing in my mind, but don't know if I'm going to stick with that, and it's probably going to shift potentially. But it's going to be interesting to see how organically the way this goes and the way this feels, and if he can live with himself, if he really confronts the trauma, if he decides to go really antagonist route and just, I have to kill so and so no matter what, or if he's constantly going to be fighting this need to move on with this need to carry out this mission. Well, that pretty much wraps this one up. Hopefully my tone wasn't too low, because I'm doing this really early in the morning, so I have to lower my tone a little bit. But yeah, pretty much that wraps it up in the bag. For the next one, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. This is a little bit weird, because ideally Mikhail would be the next one I would cover, but there's a lot of things about him I'm very married to being a secret until people read it, and I don't want to give too much away with him. So it would probably be an absurdly short video, absurdly short, but I might do it anyway, just to finish out all of the characters, and he's a very big driving force in the story. So I think it would be strange not to talk about him. So I'm probably going to do the video anyway and see how that pans out. And after that, maybe get into some some of the world's mechanics, things I could talk about that won't really give away anything major plot wise, just little facts. Like I was first thinking about certain power aspects and how Wolvons work, how these particular werewolves and whatnot, how they function, how I have them function compared to like other traditional stories, what I kept, what I changed, why I did that. I kind of want to probably have a little side corner to talk about that a little bit more in depth than what I did in the interview, and kind of hammer that out and get some rules out and kind of like, oh yeah, this can't happen because this is, shit like that. But all right, I've gone on long enough. So, all right, so hopefully you guys, comment, like, subscribe, follow if you want to, share this with others if you want to. I'd appreciate it. Any comments, anything, if you want to. I'll also put a link to the What is Wolvon video, which is also my channel video, so you can always click on the channel if you want, if you've never seen that one before, to get a little bit more in detail about what this book is and my feelings towards it and my inspiration towards it. And hopefully I'll see you guys next time, next Thursday-ish at 12 p.m. Eastern time. This should be coming around that time too. And there you go. All right, I'll see you around.